Hello, my name is Andrea Roman. I was born in Del Rio, Texas in 1995, but lived my whole life in Ciudad Acuña, Coahuila, Mexico. Of course, my first language was Spanish because my whole family spoke that language. But when I started kindergarten in Mexico, I began to learn English because I was enrolled in a bilingual school. I grew up learning two languages and became very fluent in both of them because more than half of the school day they taught us to speak and learn English. I used to go almost every summer to the state of Iowa to visit family. That was when I practiced my English and became confident speaking it. Even though my relatives said I had a different accent from them, because I still had a Mexican accent mixed with a Texan accent. Years later, when I finished middle school in Mexico, I started high school here in the United States. It was a very easy transition. Since it is in a city bordering with Mexico, most of my classmates also spoke Spanish. And we didn't really use code switching because we either spoke completely Spanish or completely English. And if we did code switch, it was just a few words. It wasn't never whole sentences or we went through a conversations code switching. It was just a matter of phrases. Also, even though many people told me that it will be very hard for me to adapt to this new environment and that my grades will significantly drop, I proved them wrong and graduated top of my class with only 4 years living in the US. My close family also speaks two languages, since it is something very important when you live in the border, because you're constantly crossing the border to the other country, usually to shop. And it is always good to know another language because you can communicate or at least understand if you're in a situation with someone who doesn't speak your language. But we mostly speak Spanish because my grandparents and the rest of my family doesn't speak English. And when we're at home, we don't code switch either. We just stick to Spanish most of the time. And if we do speak English, we go to a conversation speaking only English. I am very proud of my roots and how my parents always reminded me to never forget my Spanish. It is a huge advantage to know two languages because you can easily communicate with many people, and not only from the US and Mexico, but from many other countries.